All right, we're going to give this a shot, guys. And currently, it is really not focusing. Come on, focus. If I have to, I'll close the window behind me. It's okay, there we go. It's starting to get better. Woohoo! Can everyone hear me? I see that. Hey, Shark, good to see you, man. Can you guys hear me okay? Oh, now it's getting really bright. There's this awesome foggy, wet day outside, so I thought it'd be a great backdrop. It's just we'll see if it will actually work or not. It's not the best for lighting. um, if it doesn't, then we'll do something else here. But hi, Chris. Good to see you, man. Jerome, hi. Good to see you. Okay, let's see here. I should probably post this on one more location so that everyone can get in. One second here, guys. Already we're hopefully moving smoother than in previous ones. Okay. How you guys doing? Having a good Saturday? It's still really bright. Okay, well. Oh, Shark, how was Brightburn? I haven't gotten a chance to see that yet. I really want to. It looks awesome. Waiting for me. Yeah, I get you, Chris. Oh, that's really bright, dang it. Pretty brutal. Nice. Yeah, I mean, okay, in all honesty, I've always kind of thought of Superman as like the most unrealistic superhero ever. So when I saw Brightburn, I thought this is what Superman would actually be. Hey, Carl, good to see ya. Thanks for stopping by. Oh man, that's super bright. Okay, well maybe this won't work. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I will like it. It looks really up my alley. um, let's see. Okay, what do you guys think? Do you think I should change locations here? Because this is pretty um, uh, overpowering. It seems like it wasn't this bad before, but it seems to be now. Get to focus better. Yeah, that will make it worse. Yeah, I was thinking that, but then I was informed by my wife that the shade doesn't close, which I kind of thought it did, but apparently it doesn't. So here we'll just swivel around. It won't be as cool of a scene here, but hey, better than nothing. Hey, Neon Spike, good to see ya. You know, it's funny. I almost didn't wear the hat today, but then someone made a comment about it in the comments, and I was like, "Oh yeah, the hat." Okay, so I'm gonna swivel around here, guys. Like I said, we're gonna lose the cool backdrop, but no one can see me yet or the cool backdrop, anyways. So Stupid bright lights outside. Not realizing shade doesn't go down. We're not at my house. That's why I didn't know that. Okay. All right, guys. Hope you don't get motion sick. Uh-oh, it's cord stuck. Not getting motion sick quick. All right. We'll get there. This is all very... All right. Whee! Wow, that is so much better. Look at that. Looks much more sedate and serene, but whatever. That's okay. um, yeah. So does Sarah know what house I'm at? Well, she's actually like off the camera right over here.
Hi, guys.
So yes, she does. Oh, come on, silly thing. You were better. Now focus. I'm going to guess that Neon Spike is either Maddie or Craig. Good. Glad you like it, Chris. Okay. It's not Maddie. For those who are wondering who Maddie and Craig are, they are our friends who help us at Gen Con every year. So we bribe them to come out and slave away for a yep, definitely Craig. Okay, so but yeah, so they come out and help us every year at Gen Con, and so we really appreciate them. Oh, and then also Maddie, you guys know her as Quote Star. She also does the FAQ, so, or the FAQ on the project. So yeah, you all know Quote Star, probably. So what do you guys want to talk about? Any questions or anything that you guys want to go over with Dawn of Madness, or want to see any minis, or you know, so on and so forth? Oh, I should show you. So it looks like I'm just bumming right now. I'm in just like a normal t-shirt, but I'm actually in like my Dawn of Madness t-shirt. So I'm in official paraphernalia. Hey, Adam, good to see you, man. Sure, shoot. What's your question? Waiting. What's the basic? Okay, so Carl beat you, Adam, but I'll get to you in just a sec. So Carl's saying, what's your basic concept idea for the new board? So what I presented to the team here recently, let's see, yeah, it's okay, was something that I'd seen mentioned in comments a couple times, and I could really see it working, where it's almost like a Silent Hill foggy landscape type thing. With I want to hopefully keep some of the colors that we have on the current board, because I really like those colors. But I'm thinking if we can integrate that into kind of a foggy landscape type thing, with like broken pieces of different things popping out of the fog, and maybe some like monsters slithering around, and some oh, that's a really good question, Adam. Okay, I'll get to you in just a sec. And some shoot, just lost my train of thought. Sorry. But, and you know, maybe some dead bodies around and stuff. And then I'm going to try. The team doesn't know I'm going to say this, and so they might completely shoot this down. but I'm going to try to get the world charts to be bigger. I've actually tried that in the past, but I'm going to try it again now, see if I can get world charts bigger. And then as far as the actual layout for the board, it'll be pretty close to what it is now, but it'll be a little more connected. And we might not have the encounter cards. We might not need them anymore. So that info might go on world shards instead. So hopefully that answers that a little bit. But if not, let me know and I'll try to answer it further. Okay, Adam, so your personal question. How did my interest in horror begin? I'm pretty sure I've always liked monsters. I can't remember a single time when I did not like monsters. So I guess always. In fact, like, so when I was a teenager, oh, any vivisect? I do have some vivisections. I'll show those to you in just a sec, Chris. But first, I'm going to finish Adam's question here. In fact, when I was normal, I'm. Did I say normal?
Yeah.
Oh, when I was a teenager, I started to think maybe I was normal because of the deep sea monsters, and I'm a Christian, so the Book of Revelation. That kind of convinced me maybe I'm okay. But yeah, so I've pretty much always loved monsters and horror and everything that goes bump in the night and that sort of thing. Okay, so let's see here. Any vivisections? That was the question. Okay, and Carl, glad you like that new board direction idea. Okay, let's see. Where I had all my minis sitting right by me, and now they're not. Let's see. One sec. One sec, guys. I think I've got some painted ones in. Oh, no, I don't. They're all at home. Shoot. Okay, but I have some gray ones. Here's a gray one. Okay, so here's one of the vivisections. This one is, shoot, I don't remember what his, I don't remember which this one is. I think this is Flare. Sorry, guys, see if I can get to focus a bit more. Start focusing on my face. This is always a problem. Let's see what other ones I've got here. I know I've got some more. No, it's not. It's just a weird one. Anyways, okay, one sec. That guy with the guts hanging out. Yeah. Thanks. My beautiful assistant here, bringing me on my minis. So this one is why can I not remember his name? This one's my favorite one. It's because the one I really remember is Prolapse, because I love that name. Yeah, I agree. Super Ultimate Drifter there. I really want them to be bigger. Good. Glad you like them, Chris. But yes, I agree. I want them to be significantly bigger. I mean, we'll see if that's even possible. Ideally, I mean, Tarot or larger would be great, but I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Because I'm the writer. I'm not, you know. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, Chris. Okay, so let me see if I can find Prolapse. I don't know if I have Prolapse anywhere nearby here. One sec. This was all set up for the other location. Sorry, guys. Okay, let's see. Prolapse. Do I have you? He must be in my other box, which is on the other side of the table, which would have been perfect just a few minutes ago. Oh, my box arrived. Ah, I don't know where he went. Oh well, that's okay. No. Okay, so anyways, any other questions or any minis I can show you guys or things like that? So that's a good question, Seth. And I don't think it's going to happen because that is actually something we tried. Um, and it didn't work perfectly. Actually, um, anyways, sorry, got distracted. It didn't work very well in game. So like the and I mean, who knows? Anything's possible. We've got a lot of development time ahead of us, and obviously there's some major changes happening here. Hey, Lucas, good to see you, man. Um, but so there's a lot of change that could happen there, obviously. Um, but I know that a lot of our other attempts at doing things another way didn't work great. Just, hey, John, good to see ya. You're just in time. We're just getting going. So hopefully that helps answer your question a little bit. We'll see. It's possible. And ideally, so okay, that's a great question. In the endings, yes. In fact, I don't know if we'll get to it or not, but if I get a chance, I don't know that we will, but at some point, I'll show you guys the ending that we have in our current little storybook. And in that one, yes, Emily starts transforming throughout the ending, getting progressively worse. And hey, Russell, good to see you. But yeah, so in the endings, all bets are off as to what's going to happen. But in those, we can more script them. So it's easier for us to control what's going to happen. Whereas in the main game, yes, we have the event phase, so we're able to script it to a certain degree. But in the endings, we can really make just crazy stuff happen pretty easily. So hopefully that helps answer your question there. If it didn't, though, let me know. Because I'm not always the best at explaining things. Oh, okay. So real fast here. Okay. I'll get to you in a sec, Doc. First of all, in case I didn't say hi, Doc. But okay, so Jay asks, any plans to show off some story segments from the other Wanderers and updates? It would be great to get one from each instead of just a bunch of Emily's. So, okay, one problem with that, Jay, is that I've written like 80% of Emily's book, but we haven't done as much with the other characters. So I have some things that I could maybe show you, but they might not be as exciting as some of Emily's stuff. But what I'm thinking about doing and what I want to do is over the next few days have like exposés isn't really the right word, but like focuses on each of the characters so that you can get a better idea of their stories and who they are and why they're here. Well, I mean, you're not going to learn too much about why they're here until, you know, significantly later in the game. But, you know, at least give you some insights into them and maybe some of their like malformations and their terrors and that sort of thing. And if anyone doesn't know, terrors are the new names for aberrations and distortions. So we just kind of combine them into one. Now they are terrors. Okay, one sec here. But that was a great question, Jay. But that's why a lot of them are focusing on Emily currently, it's because that's where most of the stories are written right now. But having said that, they're also all going to be very different. So I wish that I had them because they're all going to be very different flavors. Like Emily's is focused just on going completely bonkers. But then like the detective is more a creeping, crawling horror. And then Catherine's is brutal. And then, so they all have kind of different feels to them too. So that'll be hopefully cool. So I'll see what I can do. Maybe I can, maybe I can at least write something up and, get it, see if I can get that in the updates. But anyways, all that to say, yeah. Oh, Shark says, do you have a boss mini to show? What boss mini would you like to see, Shark? And yes, Doc, I am doing well. We are slowly but surely surviving this campaign. Second boss mini from Anita. Oh, okay. Okay, small caveat. There's a tiny piece missing on this one. And it's not fixed because I haven't found it yet. But as far as a spoiler goes, why not? So this is Anita's second boss. This is the family. And they are pretty well messed up. So don't tell anyone I showed you this. But this is what's coming up. They are. They're definitely a close-knit group, Phil. You're right. You're absolutely right. They really have a deep bond with each other. So yes, focus on the characters would be great. You got it. Coming up. Okay, so Doc asks, any possibility for additional Wanderer in the campaign? Probably not at this point because there's a lot of work that goes into a Wanderer. So because I mean, obviously you have to have the basic story, but then you've also got to have the 3 malformations, then you have to have their terrors, then you have to have their bosses. So I don't think we're going to have any more at this point. Oh, behind the Mongrels. That's a great question. Oh man. Okay, I'm skipping ahead. Sorry. Okay, rewinding just a little bit, and then I'll go forward. I'll get to you, Phil. Promise, because that's a good question. Okay, but I want to get these in order here. Oh, okay. So Russell is asking, not sure if it's been said before, but can we have the game round token chip be normal Byron at Fedora? And warp mess up Byron on the other side. I don't know about that, Russell. Great thought. That might be a little too I don't know. I can't say anything's impossible, but I don't know how likely that really is at this point. Okay, and then Chris was wondering about the second boss mini. Showed those or Mongrels. Ooh, do I have Mongrels? One sec, guys. Digging for Mongrels. I know I have Mongrels. It's just a matter of where are the Mongrels? Where are the Mongrels? Huh. I know I have them. I'm not sure where they went, though. So I guess the mongrels are remaining a mystery for now. Sorry. Anyways. Okay. Feel for the different Wander story. Okay. 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 So Phil is asking, what's the design space behind the mongrels, as in what makes them unique gameplay-wise from other terrors? So I can't really comment on that, Phil, because I'm not the game designer. But what I can tell you about is kind of the story behind them. And the mongrels are a group of man. Now I really wish I had some to show you guys. I know I've got them. I just don't know where they are. So the mongrels are dang it. Maybe I'm missing a foam thing. Oh well. Anyways, sorry guys. Oh, Shark wants to see Twin Sister. I can do Twin Sister. You betcha. Okay. But first, the mongrels. Okay, so they are a collection of they're not dogs. They're people. They're maybe the closest thing to Hellraiser in the game. I don't know, maybe. They're which you'll see when you guys see the models. They're pretty nuts. But hey, Russ, good to see you, man. Welcome. Oh, Blaster, welcome, man. Good to see you. But so they're kind of a fusion of a bunch. How to explain this? I think I'm doing a pretty bad job. Think of rabid people, just vicious, on edge, just wanting to rip people's throats out, combined with all these weird metal shards and stuff that are like thrusting out of their skin. They're like a pack of wild dogs, except people. So, and I suspect that will definitely influence the way that the game design goes for them, moves forward for them as well. But yeah, they're vicious. They're just really vicious creatures. So hopefully that helped answer your question. I'm not actually sure it did, but let's see here. Okay, first of all, Shark wants to see the twin sister. Yes, I can do that. I can do twin sister. Here is twin sister. Sorry that the computer has decided that there's really bad lighting in here, guys. But hopefully you can get a good idea of this. She's pretty huge. She's kind of crazy there. But yeah, so that's twin sister. Okay, so then Sir Reason. Oh wait, no, Doc, you asked first. Well, thanks, Doc. I appreciate that. He's just saying that they're some of the most in-depth characters he's seen out of an RPG. Cool. That's great. I'm glad that you like what you're seeing of them so far. And yes, we'll definitely get into all of them further and some of their differences and that sort of thing. Can you further describe how the game works without the conscious realm? Okay, so that's a great question. I answered it a little bit earlier on, but that was more focused on the game board. So now what's going to happen is that because there's no longer the conscious realm, all of those encounters are now going to be on the main board. So rather than having just 4 world shards for each character is going to have 16 world shards, which also probably means the 12-sided die is maybe no longer necessary. I don't know. That's a design question for Roger. That's not something I can really answer. But so then on the world shards themselves, they're all going to lead into an encounter. So that's why the memories have been taken away from the world shards, because now there's going to be an encounter in their place. So when you go to a specific area, you'll go into that area's story. And then from there, you'll be able to, as you unlock other stories, those stories will show up in other places. I'm guessing we will still have the consequence tokens, though I'm not completely sure. That's up to the design team once again. But they will be more... so many good questions. Anyways, they're going to be more like... sorry, guys. Just lost my train of thought again. I should not look away to comments. This is a bad decision on my part. Anyways, so they're going to be more like... you're going to go into those that are tied specifically to that world shard now. And then you'll have the further world shards and that sort of thing. And then the consequence tokens, I think they will remain, because you're still going to have those changes that are going to alter other parts of the story. But once again, that's a design team question there. So you're going to have a lot more things happening on the board that previously were separated out onto the conscious realm. So hopefully that helped answer the question a little bit there. But I should probably catch up on some more of these. And then we could come back to that if people want to come back to that. Because I know that is, I'm sure, a really big question on a lot of people's minds. Okay, Sir Reasoner, how close is this to Arkham Horror? Love the franchise, and this is just so close, but so good. I have a terrible, terrible confession to make, Sir Reasoner. I have never played Arkham Horror, so I can't tell you. I have played Mansions of Madness, and I have played Arkham Horror, the card game, but I have not actually played Arkham Horror, the board game. I own it, but I haven't played it. So I can't quite tell you. However, I can tell you that our lead designer, Roger Ho, is an enormous Arkham fan. He's not so big a fan of 3rd edition. He doesn't really like that one at all, but he loves 2nd edition. So I'm going to guess there's some definite Arkham Horror thrown in to Dawn of Madness. So hopefully that answers your question a little bit there. And then Lucas is wondering if we're going to have painting tutorials for any of the monsters. I don't know, Lucas. You want to do some painting tutorials? I don't know. We'll have to see about that. But oh, Russ. Okay, so yeah, you were actually just asking what I was just talking about. So hopefully I kind of covered that question for you. If I didn't, though, let me know down in the comments. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, so you might have maybe missed it too. So if you did, just let me know and we'll cover it again. Okay, so and then Russ is wondering if we're going to have a monstrum for Dom to keep all monsters safe and sound together. That's a great question. It's something that I am pushing for with the team. We had some issues with Monstrum in the reprint that has kind of soured the team on Monstrum. Because for starters, it was so stinking expensive. Like shipping and everything, it was just so expensive. So, and then they got damaged in transit because they were so big. And yeah, so it's something that I'm pushing for because I know a lot of you guys want it. We'll see what happens. The other problem is some of the minis in Dawn of Madness are big, bigger than anything in Deep Madness. So that kind of makes it a little more difficult to make inserts for them because they're large, like the Numina specifically. Um, but anyways, it's not completely out of the question. It's just kind of up in the air still. Sorry, Phil. Just saw your comment here about mongrels equal people on Black Friday in a knife shop. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. um, okay, so and then oh shoot, I just missed a really good one. Come back here. Carl. Carl asks, do the final boss just appear somewhere in the story? That is one part I haven't been clear on yet. That's a great question, Carl. Okay, they sort of do sometimes. So what I mean by that is technically, no. The final bosses are going to appear in the finales. So you're only going to get them in certain endings. So for instance, in ending A, you would get Twin Sister, or not ending A anymore. The red dark ending, you would get Twin Sister for Emily here. And then in other endings, you'd get other monsters. So in one of Anita's endings, you would get family, and so on and so forth. But having said that, occasionally they do pop up in the story. So like, oh, Spider Lady. I haven't shown you guys Spider Lady yet. She actually started in one of the stories, and people liked her enough that they were like, we're just going to make her a boss and make her a mini. And I was like, but she's in it for, but yeah. So anyways, she is now like a final boss because of her part in the story. So, okay, here she is. So here is Spider Lady for people who would like to see her. Yes, she is literally in a room. Let's see if I can get to focus a little bit better here. Sorry, guys. The proverbial struggle, never ending. Anyway, so yes. Yes and no. You're not going to fight them like you would necessarily. And there's another exception to this rule too. So Linus, one of his powers is glory. Using glory, he can summon eminent glory. Doing so is not always a good idea, but it is one way that he can help beat the abominations in a chapter if need be. So let me just grab Eminent Glory here. I know I've got her. Where'd she go? Where'd you go, Eminent Glory? Here she is. Okay. So Eminent Glory could show up whenever Linus is in play, because they are very close. They're tightly knit, these two. So yeah, so there's definitely exceptions to the rule. By and large, the finales are where you're going to see the final bosses, but they do show up throughout the game. So hopefully that helped answer that question a little bit. Claude's story sounds a little like Deadly Premonition. Love it. Glad you like it, John. The models in this game are so amazing. James, James, good to see you, man. Glad you're digging the huge art book, my friend. That's awesome. Good to see you, bro. Okay, and then Philip, Twin Sister is indeed superb. Look forward to painting that up. Yes, I look forward to you painting her up, Phil. Okay, and then Blaster CA says Feral. Yes. I'm guessing referring to the Mongrels. Yes, exactly. Feral. Giacchini says, do you have any favorite horror games, books, or movies? Loving the game. Well, first of all, thank you so much, Giacchini. We really appreciate that. So yes, I do have a few favorites that I've just been experiencing lately. First of all, books. It's not actually a book, it's a manga, but I was so messed up when Roger, our game designer, got me a copy of Uzumaki by Junji Ito. I cannot recommend Uzumaki enough. It is so messed up in so many ways. So yes, check that one out. Horror games, actually, recently I played Hako Anna, and that is a ton. Like it is really good at being scary. Um, so yes, check that one out too. It's also cheap. It's by Whiz Kids. I mean, I know like Dice Tower, they hated it. They didn't like the gameplay mechanics at all, but I really enjoyed Hako Anno. I think it depends on the people you're playing with. Um, but I had I played it with my family because that's what I do. But um, they I had my daughter and my wife like cringing in their seats while I was marauding around the board as the Hakuana. So yeah, so check that one out too. And then as far as movies and stuff, oh man, there's so many. Um, I know I've seen some recently that were super good. Oh, you know what one you guys should check out? Wounds. It's on Hulu. It's a Hulu exclusive, and it is so messed up. It's totally Lovecraftian, and it is one of the closest things to Dawn of Madness. Like I was watching it, and I was like, oh dang. So yeah, check out Wounds. That's a really good one. And then I also enjoyed also recently. Oh, what was that other one? It was a really bright one. Midsummer. I like that one. I know a lot of people didn't, but I really enjoyed Midsummer. Okay, so let's move on from that. So Carl says, so the world shards would change with each chapter. That would be awesome for replayability. Always wondering what else there was. Yeah. So okay, so we'll get back to that because I think that'll be a question that more people ask too. But let me. I'm way behind in comments now, so let me catch up first. Do I need the art book? Oh no, it just jumped. Come back. Shoot, where did I go? Okay, Shark. Do I need the art book to have good color references, or will there be enough art in the game itself? I think I buy the art book anyway. Just curious. The art book is going to be amazing. Like we're going to have over 500 pieces of art, and that was before we made this change. So yeah, the art book is going to be huge, and I highly recommend getting it. Having said that, is there going to be a lot of art in the game? Yes, absolutely. Like every piece of art is going to be there somewhere. We're going to use everything we've got, but yeah, it's going to be crazy. So I highly recommend. But having said that, I still highly recommend getting the art book. It's going to be a really great book. I have every confidence. Okay. Don't get me all excited over the art book again. So much awesome. Fun and Crafts asks, where is the design team located? Okay, so that's a great question. So we're kind of spread out all over the place. So I am in Washington State in the US. And then we have a team member who's down in California. He's kind of like the head of the US branch. That's each one. And then the rest of our team is actually over in China. So Roger Ho, he is our lead game designer / creative director / CEO / fearless leader. And he is he's in China, as is Cherry, and then our co-game designer Chauncey. So those three are all over in China. I'm in Washington. Each one's in California. So we're kind of all over the place. Where are we located? Everywhere. Seth, glad you like the merging of the two boards. That's awesome. I'm glad that that's making people happy. Oh, and Fun and Crafts is Bobo. Hi, Bobo. Good to see you out here. That makes a lot more sense. Okay. Yes, I just saw your comment here, probably relating to Ark of Horror. A true gamer, I own it, but haven't ever played it. That's exactly right. It's when I was like, I know that I need to own this. I know I need to play this. I just don't know when I'm going to do it. um, um, okay, so let's see here. It keeps jumping comments. Sorry, guys. Uh, replace jigsaw tokens with tick off list. Um, I I don't know that that's gonna happen, Mage in Mind. I mean, anything's possible. I can't say it's entirely out of the realm of possibility, but I'm not sure that a disposable uh, writing pad would do the same thing as a plot token. Um, but I mean, having said that, if enough people ask for it, I don't know. Maybe it's possible. I think that that's one that the game designers would put their foot down on, though. I'm not sure that they would like that idea. But, anyways, uh, the crossover car. Oh, glad you like them, my friend. Yeah, I was really pushing for those. I'm so glad that they made it. Um, the round counter on the right count to 200 by tens. Why not just go 1 through 10? Is there a significance in the values? Yes, there is, Russ. So the reason that it says 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 is because those are entries in a storybook. So when you're going to get to that round, you would flip to that entry in the storybook. So that's why they're not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because then they'd all be in order. You just read through them and be like, I know exactly what's going to happen. So those are actually for the event entries in the storybook, which unfortunately we haven't really been able to. Let's see if the light's better. Yeah, that's better. I'm taking off Fedora, guys. Sorry. The lighting's just way better without it. But the so yes, so each number reflects an entry in the storybook, which will be an event, and those will not be static. So I know some people were worried that the events would be static. They're not going to be. They're going to change depending on like what you've accomplished so far, doing different tests, what level the abomination is at, stuff like that. So that's why that's 10, 20, 30, 40, so on and so forth. Um, okay, so um, Phil, I just saw it. Just saw your reference to the spider lady. Yes. Sorry. um, um, okay. Shoot, I just lost it here. Sorry, guys. Keeps jumping. Introduction to the bosses in the story, not gameplay, will help their appearances become more powerful. Yes. So, Doc, that's the other thing with the bosses too, is they are all, and I probably shouldn't mention this, they're all completely integral to that character's story. They're not just going to randomly appear. So Doc is saying that introducing the bosses in the story will help their appearance become more powerful. Yes, it absolutely will. Like twin sister for Emily is huge. She is, I mean, her book is called Bond of Twin or Bonds of Twins. So yes, in fact, the twins storyline makes more of the heart of Emily's story than anything else. More than the asylum, more than everything else. The asylum it's not window dressing, but it is revolving around the relationship between the twins. So, having said that, yes, the bosses are completely integral to the story, and when they show up, you'll know exactly why they're there. So hopefully that Blaster, sorry, man. Just saw your arachnophobic post here. Sorry. I mean, honestly, when people say stuff like that, I kind of don't take this the wrong way, but I giggle a little bit inside. Like for instance, Roger, the game designer, he told me at one point I put cockroaches into a story. It's like, oh, I hate cockroaches. They're the creepiest thing in the world. So I was like, really? So then I inserted another story where you have to run through a whole corridor of cockroaches. So probably best not to tell me what you're afraid of because it'll probably end up in the game. um, in the tall grass. Oh, I so want to see that Mage in Mind. Yes, that looks amazing on Netflix. That looks so good. Oh, what was the one we watched? Oh, that wasn't a horror movie. Never mind. It was good, but it wasn't a horror movie. Can you describe how the other Wanderers plot points affect the finale? It's going to change in every ending, Doc. So obviously the more I think actually how you do with the abominations will affect the finale as well. If I'm not mistaken. Like I know that if you don't beat the final abomination, you don't get a finale. So you really have to beat that final abomination. But I think that the abominations affect the ending, and then obviously the plot tokens for the Wanderers do too, and the plot tokens for the Wanderers. It's going to change in every finale how they affect the ending. If you get a really good plot token, it will mean that the ending's a little bit easier. Maybe one of the monsters doesn't show on the board, or maybe the monster has a nerf, or maybe you guys get additional resources or that sort of thing for the ending to help with that. But it's still. Oh, okay. Well, so you're probably not even here anymore because I just saw your next comment saying that you had to leave the chat. Bye, Doc. Anyways, yeah. So hopefully that explained it a little bit. But since you're not even here probably for me to answer the question, oh well. And honestly, I'm not completely certain because that's going to work more in as we're developing the game too. But seeing what we've done so far, I would imagine there will be some pretty sizable differences depending on what ending the other Wanderers got. So hopefully that helps. Oh, okay, James. Well, thanks for stopping by, man. Just saw you had to go too. So thanks for being here. Great to see you, man. Can I comment on streamlining? Seth is wondering, can I comment on streamlining sentience? I love the direction of simplifying the system and making iconography easier to read. Want to stay immersed in the story as much as possible. I can't really talk too much about streamlining sentience, Seth, because that's more of a Roger question than a me question, unfortunately. But we're definitely, so like you had mentioned, I know on the Kickstarter, like iconography and stuff. Yeah. The text on the cards is so tiny. It's like, it is ridiculously tiny. I am going to be the first to admit that. It's certainly prototype material there. And some of the icons are really fuzzy, and yeah, they all need to be reworked. Absolutely. But the as for streamlining the actual system, I can't really comment on that because that's all stuff that they would be doing. They would probably ask my opinion on it, but I'm more the story guy. So unfortunately, I can't say too much on that as they're the ones who really built that stuff. Okay, anyways, sorry. I know I'm way behind here on questions here, guys. Michael is asking, the alternate art monster cards by Chung Wong were absolutely amazing. Is there any chance for an add-on for Dom for alternate art monster cards? Oh, Michael, no one has suggested that before. That is an interesting question. I don't know. Huh. Having said that, it's not like with Deep Madness, because with Deep Madness, we had a whole series that, I don't know. I'm going to say probably not, because I think that it would cost a ton to add that extra art, which could be spent in other better areas. Oh, Phil is asking, what do nursery rhymes do? That's a great question, Phil. I actually don't know that one. Um, they are one of Claude's. I believe what they're going to do. First of all, they're going to impact Claude in a very real way because there are nursery rhymes playing throughout his story that are drawing people into the different uh, elements of his story. Um, so they're going to impact Claude. But in addition to that, I believe they're also going to have an effect that will affect characters when they get them. Now, obviously, some of this is going to change too because the inner offerings are now becoming more special abilities for characters rather than as much accessible to everyone on their world shards. So I'm not entirely clear yet how all of that's going to function together, but I know that it will and it'll be awesome. And I know it's really going to tie into his story because nursery rhymes are extremely important to his story. So hopefully that helps a little bit. But oh, hi, Jim's daughter. Good to see you. Uh, I'm so glad you're excited for this game. Who is my favorite character in the game and why? Um, so that's a great question. I think maybe Linus. I think Linus might be my favorite, but I really like all of them. Uh, they're all very different, and they all have very different reasons for doing what they're doing. Um, some of them are less. What's the word? Noble than others, you could say. um, this might be one of the first games where you're actually going to. I won't spoil that. Anyways, sorry, I just skipped to John's comment where he said Byron has a top to his head. I know, right? Who'd have thought? But anyways, so I really like Linus, and I really like his relationship to Eminent Glory and that sort of thing. But they're all really good. I also really like Catherine because she's not. Both she and Carrie are not exactly. They're not exactly the most empathetic and noble of folks. But I don't know how much more I should say than that. But uh, they're all very, and actually, like the clockmaker, Edward, his story is tragic and it is going to be, I think, kind of beautiful, as well as, scary. But so yeah, it's hard for me to pick a favorite, I guess, is kind of what I'm saying, because they're all different and they're all good in their own ways. Okay, so Doc says because the board will be larger, will movement be easier and faster? Okay, so the board itself is not going to be larger because that would kind of defeat the purpose of getting rid of the conscious realm to save on table space. But the as far as easier and faster, um, I think that this is. I don't know that this is actually a problem. I know some people think it is, but for me, movement doesn't seem at all. I mean, obviously, maybe I'm too close to the project, but I also do play, a lot of games myself. I've never felt that the movement was slow or unwieldy or anything like that. So I can't really say that it's going to be easier or faster because um, it's. I mean, you can move as many spaces as you want right now, as many mental capacity as you want to spend. So, I mean, I don't think it could get any faster than that. But anyways, hopefully that helped answer your question. I'm not sure it did. Okay, Russ. Okay, so that was just in relation to something else I said. Um, So Russ then says, Byron giggling and getting ideas because of other people's phobias and misery. This is why you're such a good writer. Does your family ever get concerned when you go down the horror rabbit hole? All the time. Russ, you have no idea. Like, people read some of the stuff I've written and then they're like, but you're so normal. You're so happy. What's going on? You're a freak. um, I yes. So yes, constantly. I am constantly being asked if I'm okay. Uh, um, okay. So Jay asked, does only the Wanderer whose finale gets played get an ending, or do each of the Wanderers in a campaign to get some form of ending based on their door tokens? Each Wanderer will get some form of an ending. It's just not going to be the full finale. So you're going to get something, but you're just not necessarily going to get. That's actually a really great question. You're going to get something. It just won't be the full finale where you're fighting against your final boss, that sort of thing. To get those endings, you would have to play it again and get one of your endings as the top ending. So hopefully that makes a little sense there. There will be definitely, you will get some sort of resolution to your story. It just won't be the full resolution. Like, for instance, we don't go into this too much, but actually each finale has 4 different endings. So each character has 4 finales and 4 endings for each of those finales. So it's actually way more than 4 finales, depending how you do in the finale and that sort of thing. So this would just be like one thing. There wouldn't be like the other choices for how the ending could go. So hopefully that helps a little bit on that. But yes, other characters will get some sort of an ending. Lucas, well, you're probably not here anymore to hear this, but have a great night, Lucas, and thanks for being here, my friend. Talk to you later. Blaster, yeah, exactly. If we trigger a phobia, then I'm doing a good job here, because my whole job here is to creep you guys out. So, okay, so and then Phil is saying accepting ideas for deep mass crossover cards, like what was kind of attempted with designing the Evil John card. So, so you're saying let you guys help with some of the. Oh, Doc, you are still here. Okay, cool. I was thinking I was just talking to the group rather than you. Cool, awesome. Anyways, I'll get to your question. I just saw it pop up here. I'll get to your question in just a sec. Okay, so Phil, you're saying that maybe we should open that up to get feedback on what the different monsters should do for the crossover pack. That could be doable. Sure. I could talk with the team about that, if that's what you're saying. I think that's what you're saying. Phil, I just saw your comment about sitting in the dark, singing nursery rhymes to yourself while you're playing Claude's story. Yes, exactly. Oh, Super Ultimate Drifter wonders, do I have any executioners and watchers to show? I do indeed. Where'd my watchers go? Okay, and I should also give you guys a caveat on the executioners. They are not as big as they're going to be in the final product. They previously were a little bit smaller, and we realized they were too small, so we're going to make them bigger. But having said that, here are watchers, which I'll show you guys in a sec. Let's see, where are my executioners? I think I've got some painted ones here. So one sec. Executioner. And then I've also got some unpainted ones. The guys with the big mallets. These guys. And that guy there too. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so watchers. Let's start with watchers. Okay, I'll get to that in a sec, Seth. I just saw your question pop up. That's a great question. Okay, so here's one of the watchers. And the reason some of these are just flat gray and the reason some of them are not is because some of these are ones that I 3D printed. So this is one I 3D printed. This is the Time Watcher. I forgot his actual name. There's too many names, I guess. The World Watcher. Come on, focus. There we go, focused. Sort of, kind of. And then the Life Watcher. And I'm sorry, I don't remember what their actual names are right now, guys. I could look on the campaign, but I don't think I'm going to take the time. This one's my favorite, though. I really love the way, because if you look at it, he's hollow. He actually is like a DNA helix, kind of, except it's a really warped, twisted one. So I really love this watcher. Oh, and there's holes on the back of them, too. You can see through them there, too. Yeah. So I really love this watcher. Oh, sitting on a bomb. Well, he's not actually sitting on a world. It's actually like, so if you look closely, sorry, I just saw Russ's comment down there. If I can get him to focus, it's not a world, but he is. So the Watchers are all watching something specific in this world. Basically, these are guys who the Golden Dawn sent into the other world, kind of to catalog it, and it didn't go so well for them. So this guy specifically, oh man, what is his name? It will help us determine, or one sec here, guys. I'll get his name. It's bugging me that I can't remember names today. Guess I haven't been sleeping as much or as regularly as maybe I should. Okay, here we go. Oh, just skipped. Okay, Watcher Infinite. Okay, so so he kind of expresses the size and shape and scope of things. So he is he's watching over the universe, the dimension, essentially. So that's this guy, and he's not sitting on a world. It's actually, so like if you look at the back here, he has all of these like he's almost got like Doc Ock tendrils coming out of his back, and those are all coming out of the thing he's sitting on. So you're right, it is not a world. It's something entirely different. But yeah, so hopefully that helps a little bit. Okay, I just saw your comment here, Russ, about sounds the rest of the team instant messaging you to stop for revealing spoilers. Oh, it's way too late for that. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, executioners. I didn't show you the executioners. Okay. So once again, these are not as big as the final ones are going to be. They're kind of dinky right now, but they will get much bigger than this in the final product. So here is one of them. And once again, I apologize, but my memory is going on which one is which. One sec here. Let me pull it up. Okay, so the one I just showed you is Bludgeon. This one's Bludgeon. And then, let's see here. Obviously, we have Gallows. And then, whoa, no, the mini's alive. He didn't break. And then let's see, we have uh, condemn. And we have headsman. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. I was not looking at the camera there, so. So headsman there. Yeah, so those are the executioners. And like I said, they will get bigger. Okay, so Charisma is asking, will there be any sexual themes in the game story-wise? Probably not too much. That's kind of the one area. So relationships, yes, definitely. But as far as like sexual stuff, that's one area that I kind of draw the line at for the most part. It's I, I don't feel a lot of the time it's necessary. And for me, that's kind of the one area that's kind of, to me, it's kind of the off limits area. Um, there's also not much in the way of cussing, that sort of thing. Mainly just for that, just because I normally don't feel like it's necessary. Some cases, like yeah, it might be, but a lot of the time, I feel like it. If you have to say something through cussing, are you sure that you really had to say it at all? A lot of times, there's a better way of doing it that can. I don't know. That's just my personal thought. It's not that I have anything against it or anything. It's just so I don't think that there's going to be much in the way of like sexual triggers for people. I mean, those are pretty much like the only areas that I won't touch. So I mean, I know that might be disappointing for some folks, but it's something that I'm just. Eh, I'll leave that to Kingdom Death. They can do that stuff. Um, so, Watcher and Toxin. Okay, so I guess we saw the Watchers. We didn't see the Toxins. Um, so let's see if I've got some Toxins. I think I do. I know I've got Toxins here somewhere. Where'd they go? Here, Toxin, Toxin, Toxin. Oh, they're all the way over there. Okay, one sec. Sorry, guys. Sorry. My bad. Okay. I know I've got painted ones somewhere, but I'm not sure where those painted ones are unless they're in here. Oh, here's one painted one. Okay. Better than nothing. Okay, so here is one. So here's one of the Toxins. Sorry that the light is getting bad here, guys. It's starting to get dark here, so I'm losing my ambient light. He's not actually this dark. He's nowhere near this dark. But I'm starting to lose my light here. So that's one of them. There's another one. This one is in gray. The gray ones are ones that were painted gray for Gen Con. And then, let's see, we showed that one, painted. Then here's the third one. Yeah, so those are the Toxins. Okay, so let's catch up on more comments here. How are social stretch goals going? They're going pretty good, actually. I'm shocked at how many haikus I've gotten. So Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing people's mashed potato monsters. I really hope that happens. uh, anyways, oh, and then Seth says here, thanks for involving us backers. Hope you incorporated your own fears. What are they? Mashed potato creatures. I saw the mashed potatoes. That drew me since I was talking about mashed potato monsters. What are my own fears? It's a great question. That's a really good question. Like, for the most part, I just dive into fears. I don't really. um, maybe, maybe fear of like cutting people. I don't know. If that's the case, then dang, I've got a lot of that. Jordan, hey man, good to see you. Welcome. Um, but yeah, I guess to a certain degree, maybe fear of death, which there's a lot of that in there too. but and that one's I don't know if that one really counts. Um, it's more just something I think about a lot. But so yeah, I don't. Eh, if I do have a fear, chances are it's in the game. Okay, but Doc had a question here too. About movement was only pertaining to the board being larger. Otherwise, I see exactly why the board you can move as fast as you want. Yeah, so the board itself won't really be larger, Doc. It's going to be the same size, but there's going to be more elements of each wanderer on the board. So, and then hopefully the world shards, if I can get people to make the world shards bigger, those would be bigger too, and easier to see and that sort of thing. So that's something for us to push for, guys. But so I hope I've answered your question. I'm not positive I have, to be perfectly honest, and I'm sorry if I haven't, but hopefully it's close. Um, am I going to do a mini unboxing closer to the end like I did with DM to show that the finalized models? Oh, I'm sure I will, Russ. I have no doubt that I will be showing you guys a lot of stuff, and I'm sure that the team is going to be sending a lot of pictures and stuff as stuff develops throughout the process too. So yeah, we'll have a lot of stuff to show you guys as we move forward. But yes, I'm sure I'll have an unboxing, an actual playthrough video, stuff like that. So definitely. So Phil just says, "Yep, involving the backers would be a lot of fun. It would be. So yeah, let's see what we can do, Phil. That might be another good way for backers to participate in the game design here. So yeah, let's see what we can do." Okay, so Russ is asking, I've always had a query in the back of my mind. Did you know about the Golden Dawn group cult originally from the UK? We came up with your bad guy organization name. I doubt we did. I don't think we knew them at all. I think we just thought it sounded cool. So no, I then discovered they were an actual cult, and I was like, oh man. And I shouldn't say cult. I don't know. I don't know enough about them to say if they're a cult or not. So no judgments or whatever, unless they really are like an evil organization cult thing, in which case I totally do not rescind that comment. But if they aren't, if they're just a group of normal folks doing their normal thing, then you be you guys. But no, I had no clue, and I don't think any of the rest of the team did either. Yeah, I came up with a similar problem with the name of Emily's Asylum. I named it Lockwood, and then we discovered there's already a Lockwood Asylum card game, and it looks creepy. But the team really loved Lockwood, so I've had a hard time getting them to change it. But anyways, so yeah, no, had no clue. John, glad you liked the minis. That's cool. Um, Hearing you say the sexual aspect isn't something you want to do as it isn't necessary or that you don't like to do, I can completely appreciate. Find it refreshing and respect for it. Thanks, Russ. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's just to me, it's just something that a lot of the time is not necessary, and it's not the areas that I want to explore in the game necessarily. When it's called for in the story, we'll see. But there's normally, in my opinion, a better way of doing something. But anyways, so Phil then says there was someone barred from a UK RPG Expo for yeah there was. I completely agree with that. It's a dangerous road to go down, in my opinion. But okay, so P49 or P4N9, sorry, says I came into an almost all in for deep after the campaign. Will be a way to get faces by itself in this campaign. Faces by itself. I don't know actually. You could pledge for $1 and then see what happens in the pledge manager. I have a feeling you would need. Oh, paying. Okay, I gotcha. I have a feeling you would need an actual pledge to do it. I don't know that the $1 pledge is actually going to be able to access anything. So yeah, I think you'll probably need an actual pledge. But having said that, there's also hopefully, if fingers crossed, there might be a second reprint or third Deep Madness campaign at some point next year. So keep an eye for that too, because that would be another way to get faces. So hopefully that helps you there. Yeah, Chris says you could also ask Cherry if there are any left. That's also, you could definitely do that. You could send an email to deepmadness@dimensiongames.com. Here, I'm typing it into the comments here so you can have it. Make sure I spelled it all right. Yeah, that looks good. So you could send an email to deepmadness@dimensiongames.com, and hopefully Cherry she'll let you know if we have any or not. We might not. I know we've been running out of a lot of stuff, but you could certainly give that a try and see if that would work. Yeah, and then Blaster CA Boobgate was bad enough. Yeah, I agree with you completely. Russ says certain parts and offshoot factions of the real Golden Dawn are actually really just like how you described them. And they're also very heavy into the occult and even experiments with the mind, etc. No way. That's crazy. No, we had no clue. Oh, that is funny. And terrible. Terrible, but kind of funny. Oh man, Phil, I just saw your comment here about the Marilyn Manson model. That's interesting. That's very interesting. But yeah, there's well, and that, I mean, that's the thing, is this game is also entirely body horror. So I mean, there's only so much we can avoid. We don't have any that's like openly sexualized. I don't think anyone could call any of what we have in 80 cents of the way sexual. But I mean, there's definitely some body stuff in there. But yeah, so okay, so then Russ says go in with an yeah, so that's another way you could do it. Peng Russell just says you could also get in with an already pledging person and get them to order faces for you if you don't want Dawn of Madness. Yeah, that's another way you could do it too. Russ says there also might be some left at Game Steward. That might be another good option, or eBay maybe. Um, there are some other retailers I think that might have us, but I don't know what retailers they are. So they would just be ones that had pledged during the campaign and then got it that way. Um, okay, so does anyone have any other questions or anything else we should cover here? Or I seem to have reached the end of the comments, which is kind of a minor miracle. I mean, that's who would have thought I'd catch up? But so yeah, let me know if you guys have other questions or anything. If not, we can always call it quits for today. Hopefully, fingers crossed, there won't be any more how to beat scenario one and down in deep madness. Great question, Dos de la Rosa. Okay, so those are some good questions too. Okay, we're not done yet, guys, because these are some good questions. Okay, so okay, I'll start with the first one here, and then I'll work my way down. So Dos de la Rosa asks how to beat scenario one in deep madness. Okay, so first of all, syringes. Next of all, you might want to try the Profundum alternate. So it would be one success token rather than 3 on each clue. That would make it significantly easier. You can also use the other easier modes, like using 4 actions. 4 actions helps a lot. In addition to that, be sure to split up as soon as you start the mission. Do not clump together. Do not embrace normal horror tropes. If you clump together, you will die. You will lose. You have to branch off your folks as quickly as you can to go to the different clue tokens. In addition, there's a lot of flooded rooms, so I highly recommend using Charles Ryan. Samuel is also very good in that one, as is Randy, because Samuel can drag people, so he doesn't use up as much oxygen. And then Randy is great because she has so much sanity and she gets a free search action each turn. So she's able to go through those search tokens super quick. And then let's see. Actually, Phil is probably our resident expert here. So Phil, feel free to chime in with your own thoughts there on how to beat scenario 1 too. But the other thing is, first, okay, a couple other things. This is just good gameplay in general. Use sanity. Use it often. Then rest. Then use sanity some more. Yes, I'm talking deep madness here, guys. Sorry, we switched. Dos de la Rosa was needing some deep madness tips, so I was giving some deep madness tips real quick. So sorry, guys. But the other thing is so use sanity all the time. The other thing is don't always try to shoot the monsters. Often the best way to win is to run rather than to stay and fight. So hopefully that helps a little bit there, help you get through scenario 1. It is possible. It is definitely possible. Lots of us have done it. It's just difficult, very difficult. And there's kind of the corridor at the end there. That's kind of a corridor from hell, I call it. So you'll want to try to keep that down as much as possible. Try to not let all the monsters clump in there. Do not use despair for scenario 1. It's awful. Just don't do it. There are actually some of the bigger monsters are actually often better in scenario 1 than some of these smaller monsters I found, because there's fewer of them. So you're less likely to get swarmed. So like I actually beat it using almost entirely like 2 madness monsters. Like I was using Twisteds and or not Twisted, maybe not Twisted. Immortal, Drifters, Rects, which Rects can be really bad if they're in water, but once they're out of water, they're not so bad. Um, and then a few others too. But so yeah, hopefully that helps a little bit there to help you get through the Deep Madness scenario 1 and on to number 2, where you will have many more questions about how do I beat this one, because each of them are very different in how they play. Oh, husks! Yes, do not use husks. Husks are killer in scenario 1. Oh my gosh! I mean, husks are pretty much killer just in general, but um, yeah. Anyways, so uh, uh, actually, putrids might not be a bad choice. I mean, depending if you're one. So some people want to play just with the core box, and some people want to play with everything. I personally recommend just throwing everything into the mix and doing it that way. But if that doesn't, if you would prefer to play through it with the core box only, just try not to use husks. It'll probably help you to beat it. So hopefully that helped. Hopefully some of those tips can help you get through that. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so Phil's saying, keep seeing a lot of comments where people are concerned that only the main wanderer is interesting and the rest are sidekicks. That's a great comment, Phil. That is a really good comment. And the main reason for this comment is because every playthrough but mine has been with one wanderer. And then mine, unfortunately, sucked. So like my playthrough was awful. I did so many things wrong. I honestly, I shouldn't have put it up. I should have re-recorded the whole thing, but I desperately needed to get a video up, so I went with it. But yeah, so the reason that people think that the main wanderer is the only one who's doing anything is because people haven't seen other wanderers do anything. But so like even in my playthrough though a little bit, you could see like the other wanderers most of the time were better at fighting the monsters than Emily was. Emily had almost nothing that she could hit those monsters with, but the others all had like tons of dice that they could chuck at the thing. And then when other wanderers go through the different entries, they will also radically change the way that entry goes, because each wanderer has their own unique abilities, things they're good at, things they're not good at. So there are going to be certain tests that they're going to do well at, certain tests they're going to do really bad at, and there's just going to be that in between there. So so you're going to definitely alter the course of the story with the other wanderers as well, as opposed to if you're just going through with the one central wanderer. The only thing that they can't do is attack the abomination. And honestly, there was some talk of not letting anyone attack the abomination. Because the idea of the abomination is, yes, it's something you're trying to kill, but it's something that's stinking hard to kill. So because we want you to feel this tension when you're fighting this abomination that is rampaging towards you, and there's so little you can do. So the idea of them as sidekicks to me is very flawed. I mean, I understand why people feel that way, but I really think it's because most of the playthroughs people have seen is with one wanderer. Even Emily, or whoever happens to be the central wanderer in the chapter, you only get 3 chances to hit that abomination. The rest of it is actually through the malformations. And if the malformations leave the board, then you're not killing that thing, period. So, and that was an intentional thing, because we want people to feel anxiety. Maybe that's the wrong word. No, that's probably the right word. When they are fighting when that thing is coming towards you. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Now, the other thing too is like, so when you get memory fragments, you're able to strategize with the team what's the best thing to do with those fragments. Like, you can send them to the central wanderer to be used against the abomination, or you can use them for a variety of other things like getting into your memories or upgrading your coda card limit or a variety of other things too. So, but and then each wanderer also has their own special abilities, their inner offerings, and that sort of thing that they bring to the game. Like, as I mentioned, Linus, we haven't talked about this much. Linus actually has an ability called Glory, where he can summon eminent glory to rampage and attack the abomination. It doesn't matter if it's his chapter or not. That's one of his abilities, is summoning eminent glory, which is a bad idea. Don't do it. But you can. It's there. I mean, you can do that. Now that is like a once per game thing. You can't do that more than once per game because that would just be too powerful otherwise. But so you can't discount the inner offerings either for how the other wanderers are going to impact the chapter. Um, so see, what else should I say on this topic? Maybe I should see what what you guys are saying in comments about this too. Oh, not much. Okay, cool. So maybe I'm explaining it okay. And if I'm not explaining something, please tell me because I'm not always good with the explanations. But so hopefully that helps people a little bit. Um, uh, Literally, the only thing you can't do is attack the abomination, and you can still help in attacking the abomination. It's just you have to strategize for it. Um, but uh, yeah, so hopefully that helps a little bit there. And I mean, I'm not saying either that um, necessarily that won't change either, because it certainly could. It's already gone through a number of iterations. Like I said, there were some versions where you couldn't hurt it at all. um, so anything's possible with that. And I'm sure as we play test it more, it will, it'll change depending what the play testers say and what, you guys say and that sort of thing too. But that's kind of, that's a little bit about that, I think. Hopefully that's helped some people. And if not, please let me know. I want to answer your questions. Okay. Russ is asking, how is the novel coming along? How many chapters are ready? That's a great question, Russ. The novel is going to come it's going to come along much better after this campaign. I'm going to take some time after this campaign to only focus on the novel because honestly, it definitely has suffered over this past year as we've been getting Dawn of Madness ready. I won't lie and say it hasn't. But I think after this campaign, it's going to be much easier to focus on that novel and get it finished and get it out to all you guys. So it's definitely making progress. It's just much slower than I would have liked. But yeah, so it's going to, and for those who don't know what we're talking about, in our Deep Madness second printing, we did a novel called Shattered Seas. It's going to have another scenario for Deep Madness and stuff like that in it too. So we're going to, so that's been pushed back a little bit because obviously Dawn Madness was pushed back and Deep Madness was pushed back and all sorts of things. But it is still coming, and I'm hoping after the campaign to have like, my hope is to have like at least a couple weeks, but a solid month would be great to get that thing nailed out. Do I have any thoughts on? Okay. Dos de la Rosa says, and can you finish the story in DM campaign? Yes, absolutely. I have that pretty well thought out in my head. It's not written yet, but I have it pretty well thought out what's going to happen. The reason I've waited this long was I was kind of waiting for shipping to finish, and then shipping didn't finish. So because I kind of wanted to, I don't want to tell too much. I wanted it to be to tide people over until Shattered Seas arrived. So that was why I was kind of thinking it'd be really cool to like just finalize, put out the final chapter when the the shipping finished. So hopefully I'll be able to put it out soon because hopefully that stinking shipping is going to finish and everyone's going to get their games. I do have it on good authority, being quartermaster, that the Canadian orders are on their way to the border and might actually already be there. I'm not sure about that, but in any case, they are on their way there, and so we're finally getting some traction there, which has been a real yeah. Anyways, um, John says, do we have any thoughts on the terms symbol rethinks? Well, first of all, as far as symbols, like for sentience, I have a feeling all of those symbols are going to change, because our intention was never for them to be tied to the five senses: taste, taste, smell, touch, that sort of thing. It was just we ran out of time, so we had to put something up there. So I really think that the sentience icons are definitely going to change. As far as thoughts on the terms and renaming stuff, I mean, you guys are helping us with that in that update. So if you have any thoughts, please throw them into that update. I've linked to it a couple times. And we definitely want to hear from you guys on that stuff. So far, it seems like people want to keep some of the terms. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, like it's kind of hard, like with existence and health, because on the one hand, existence fits a lot better. But then on the other hand, everyone knows what health is, and everyone's going to call it health anyways. So, and it's also much easier to say you lose 3 health than you lose 2 existence or that sort of thing. But so we'll see about that sort of stuff. That's all still up in the air. We very much want to do what is easy for people and what people like. So, and that's not to say we're going to cave to people with gameplay decisions. We're not. We're going to do what we feel is best for the game. But we very much want to embrace people's ideas for the game, because if you guys have a better idea than we do, we want to make sure that gets into the game. We are there in writing. There is Stephen King has a phrase that I love, and it's "kill your darlings," which sounds terrible. It's an awful phrase, but what it means is it means be willing to sacrifice even the parts that you like the best if it's not best for the overall story, game, or whatever. So that's our philosophy, and that's what we're going to stick to on that. So, okay, Russ, this is a great question. Russ says, speaking of retailers, have y'all thought about doing bulk purchases aimed at retailers, like buying 6 sets at a time for a percentage of savings or something? So here's what we're doing. We're not doing an actual like retailer pledge. And the reason for that being, after my last comments about not caving, this might sound bad, but some people complain when there's a retailer pledge. So that's pretty much the only reason we haven't done it. But so what we're doing is any groups or retailers, we encourage them to contact us. So reach out to us through email, whether that's Byron at dimensiongames.com, Deep Madness at dimensiongames.com, Cherry at dimensiongames.com, any of those that you want to do a group pledge, and then we'll take care of you on that. So, so for anyone listening who wants to do a group pledge, email us and we'll get you taken care of. We actually have been talking with a number of different retailers, and we're in talks with them about that stuff. And so that's how we're handling that right now, is just contact us and we'll get you taken care of. So hopefully that helps answer that question. And then I'm seeing a bunch of Deep Madness. Okay, Jay. So Jay is saying, do the Numina have additional gameplay mechanics, complications compared to the other Abomination families, or is the increased price just because the models are larger? Well, in large, it's probably because the models are larger, but I wouldn't be surprised if some major stuff happens with those abominations because they are not normal abominations, as we said in that update. They are completely um, uh, like a lot of the abominations were wanderers themselves at one point who either combined with other wanderers and became this horrible thing or completely embraced their inner evil or a lot of that sort of thing. So and that's actually the case with the distortions too, to a certain degree, or not distortions, I guess anymore. The terrors. So that's somewhat the case with the terrors as well. But with the Numina, they're not like that. They are completely separate. Oh, hey, in fact, I've got where'd he go? Uh, I've got a Numina here somewhere. It's hiding. um, uh, no, it's it's right, it's right here. Okay. Do you guys want to see a Numina? um, anyways, um, let me know because I'm not going to flash it if no one wants to see it. But if people want to see it, then sure, I'll show you guys a Numina. But so having said that, they're not at all like that. They're entities that are almost avatars in this other world. They are so much bigger. So I would imagine that the way that they're going to end up playing is radically different than the way that, say, Rage would play or that sort of thing. So hopefully that helps answer your question. A lot of it is based on size because they are probably the biggest minis we've ever done. So like compared to like Devour of Worlds in the Deep Madness campaign, Devour of Worlds was $18 by itself, and these are all way bigger than Devour of Worlds. But okay, so hopefully that answered your question a little bit there. A lot of that is still in flux. We're still figuring out what they're all going to do and that sort of thing. But I would not at all be surprised if the Numina do some really whacked out stuff. So hopefully that answered your question a little bit there. Okay, so Michael says, you said it is possible for a third print of Deep Madness. What is the possibility of more content, optional big box expansions? I'm sure we'd put in some more new stuff, Michael. We've got ideas constantly kicking around about what the future of Deep Madness is, about what the future of the Deep Madness universe is, lots of different things. And so I have no doubt that we would have some new stuff in that reprint campaign. I don't know that we would have. I'm not sure exactly what all it would be yet, but it's definitely something we're talking about, and I'm sure there would be some new stuff. And so then Michael also says, and could this be a possibility for Dawn of Madness for more playable characters in a second edition? Absolutely. We're not going to stop at 8 Wanderers. That's just what we could get done in time for this campaign and what we felt we could reasonably do in the time frame that we have laid out for people. So in a future campaign, which obviously that would be a ways down the road, but in a future campaign, absolutely, we will have more Wanderers. We do not want to stop with just 8 Wanderers. We just don't want to promise more than we can deliver in our time frame. So that's why only the 8 at this point. So hopefully that makes sense there. So more Deep Madness stuff. Oh, Dos de la Rosa, that stinks. I hear you. I've been there where you could just get that close and then it's stolen from you. But yeah, Michael says DM is life. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Your vid is a cautionary tale, no doubt, says Blaster. Yes, it certainly is, Blaster. Oh my gosh. I did so many things wrong in that video. It's not even funny. First of all, don't film a very important video at 1 in the morning. It's not a good idea, especially after you've just been driving for 45 minutes. Next of all, uh, don't try to be all smart with all this stuff when you really just need to show the game. Next of all, so yeah, anyways, um, you're absolutely right. It was entirely a cautionary tale. Um, and then I was plotting for most of round one to avoid this effect that was going to happen, and and I and then he wasn't even on a green. Like I was trying so hard to avoid getting hundreds of envenomed cards because that happened to me the first time I played the game, and then there were he wasn't even on a green sentient, so he couldn't do his ability. So yeah, I learned a lot from that video. Mistakes were made. Uh, anyways, um, uh, though I see down here at the bottom, Russ says, "Now you just need more monsters to drink for that video." Yeah, exactly. Um, but Okay, so Russ says one last question for me. I've seen people in the Deep Madness comments asking about where, when, and how we will get the PDF missions from the second printing. Oh, okay. This is actually available right now, Russell. So the missions are in. There's an update for it, both on the Deep Madness campaign, and then in the reprint campaign. So you're going to want to look for, it's the Profundum rulebook. The Profundum PDF is the one with the additional missions in it. It's the one with some of the reworked rules. It's the one with the easy modes. It's a very useful PDF, and it is available right now. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not on Board Game Geek and also maybe Facebook as well, in the Facebook group. So yeah, that is available right now for people, and actually has been for several months. Um, see, maybe I can find that update for people. Let's see here. This will take a minute, guys. It'll take a minute for me to find this update. Actually, no, it won't, because I just need to go to the most recent Deep Madness update. Haha. Though it is available in the second printing too. It's just it was a number of updates ago that we did it in that one. Sorry, guys. One more sec. I'm getting there. I promise. Then I'll give you guys the link. Okay, here we go. Okay. In the comments is the link to that PDF, or rather the update for it. Actually, I could probably just give you the link to the PDF too, for those who want it. Though in the update, there's all the different versions. There's English, there's French, there's Spanish, there's a German, there's Italian. But here's the link to the Profundum one in English. Oh man, seriously? Dos de la Rosa, I just saw your comment here on the 10 tries to beat the Profundum pre-mission. Oh man, sorry. But I bet you learned a lot. So because okay, we'll dive into this a little bit. Just Um, yeah. So Russ, I just threw it up in the comments there. So hopefully you can see that. But yeah, so Dos de la Rosa, one thing on a couple things on that pre-mission. So first of all, oh, you were playing with husks. Yeah, yeah. Husks and putrids, they are the worst. Okay, they're not the worst, but they're up there, especially husks. Oh my gosh, especially husks. Um, uh, Charles Ryan is the ultimate. He's just a full out cheat in that one because he doesn't require oxygen. So if you just want to cheat all the way through that one, just use Charles Ryan and your job will be so much easier. It is it is almost an out and out cheat for that scenario, which is why I always use him. But anyways, okay. Okay, so Blasters, going back a ways. Sorry, guys, we're going back a ways here. Blaster says trepidation, fear, even terror when facing the big bads. Yes, exactly. That's exactly. If we can make you anxious during the gameplay, tense during the gameplay, and then scare you during the stories, we're doing okay. Oh, Larry. Hi, Larry. Welcome. Just saw your comment here. Oh, Michael, that's a good thought. An idea for the toxins crossing over to Deep Madness is they could poison flooded rooms and give them a more negative effect. Oh, brutal, man. Brutal. That might be too brutal. I don't know. We'll see. That's a really good idea. Hang on to that one because if we do this in an update, we'll want that comment in the update. I'll hold on to that one too, actually. Okay, so Blaster says, I don't mind things like existence being in effect health. What people are going to wind up calling it isn't a big deal as long as players know what existence is the key. Yeah, and it seems like a lot of people are feeling that way, Blaster. So I think existence might end up staying. I think it might. And actually, enough people have said domains that they don't mind that term. So I don't know. It depends if we can come up with a better term. Now, if we go with dominate or dominion for tentacle fingers, is going to be harder. We can't have both domain and dominion or dominate because they're too close. So one of those has to change. But anyways, okay. Thanks for being here, Phil. This has been a ton of fun. Thanks for being here, my friend. Okay, so let's see here. I know I saw some more here, and then I did see a few show me's. People wanting to see the Numna. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I've gotten enough of those though. I've only got like 3 or 4 here, so I might need at least one more to show you guys the Numina. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. And kill your darlings is a great philosophy. Yeah. Yeah, right. It's the only way to go. I mean, sometimes it's no matter how much you love something, it's just not going to work. So yes, I totally agree with you on that. For renaming the terms, it'd be great if terms were more descriptive for what's actually going on in the tests. It's hard to grasp what my wanderer is trying to do with red sentience for brains. Oh yeah, Jay, and if you look at it wasn't our last update, but one of the last ones, though it is linked in our last update, we show what we're thinking of currently, which is still up in the air. But for the domains, what are currently domains, we'll see if that changes. And then we're still thinking about the sentience. So Sharky's had some great comments. I know a few other people have had some great comments about those sentience. We're hesitant because people have already said more terms, but maybe more terms are necessary in this case. So um, that's why we have hesitated on naming the sentiences, is because people have already complained about the number of. Um, Russ, I just saw your comment. Okay, guys. All right. All right. So here is Numina creation. Here she is. I can't even put my hand behind her. She's the size of my hand. To try and get to focus. This is Numina creation. It is one of the biggest models we've ever made. And in my opinion, it's kind of freaking awesome. Yep. And I love it. So, guys, looking here in the middle, she has like, it's missing. Her middle is missing. It's hard to see with the light getting so bad, but you can actually see all the way through her. There's like holes in her back that go all the way through her. And she's got, so like there's this baby on her arm here, and there's another baby on her back, and there's another baby on here somewhere. It's just, oh, right here. The third baby is up here. So, and then you've got, I mean, this thing is just crazy. It is one of my favorite models, like, of all time. um, but there's just so much going on this stinking thing. So, and looking at the art will also give you more of an idea, which I posted in the last update, I think, some of her art. So, so yeah, here is Numina creation, and I'm going to be printing more of them. I just haven't had the chance yet because these things take forever to print, and they take a ton of resin. So that's why I only have her right now. But all that to say, yes. So yeah, hope you guys liked that. I think actually, if you guys have a particular one you want to see next, just let me know and I'll print that one next. I was thinking about printing Cosmos next, which is kind of the Azathoth-y universe one, but I could do a different one too if you guys need or want. So so yes, that was Numina creation. Oh, okay. So Russ, you said here, last question for you, when will be my next playthrough video? I don't know, Russ, because for starters, the last one was kind of an epic flop. So I don't know that I'd even want to continue that game as badly as I did. But and the other thing is too, it takes me a long time to do the videos. I'm, you know, as I've said in all the updates and stuff, I'm so far from a professional videographer and video editor and stuff like that. So it takes me like literally days to get all that stuff put together. And then it takes away from all the rest of the stuff in the campaign. So it's kind of a, what do we want to focus on at this point, especially now that so much of the gameplay is going to be changing, like with the conscious realm and the world shards and all this other stuff that I definitely am not going to have by the end of this campaign, because like the world shard art isn't done yet. So I don't know when the next one will be. But we'll see. If enough people want it, then I'm sure I'll be able to work in another one. But as of right now, it's not exactly looking great for me to be doing another one during the course of the campaign. But we'll see. We'll see. I can't say it's impossible either, because nothing's impossible if enough people ask for it. Okay, so let's get through the rest of these here, because I know a lot of you have to go. In fact, I should probably go pretty quick too. Blaster CA was a fun watch, and that's the goal, so no worries. Cool. Thanks, man. I'm glad it was fun for you to watch it. Just make toxins move a lot and low health for balance purposes. Yeah, that's a good thought, Michael. Really good. Um, See you later, Phil. You're probably already gone by the time I've said this, but have a great have a great night, my friend. Talk with you later. Okay. Um, uh, and then Russ is saying, I think ultimately the terms need to come from you, as you know best what thematically fits exactly with what the symbols truly represent. I appreciate that, Russ, and we're definitely going to take final say on all of this. We're not going to blindly embrace anything. That's not the purpose of this. It's more it's more of a groupthink exercise, or not. That's not even the right word. Um, a brain trust, maybe. I'm not sure that's the right one either, but it's getting closer. We're just kind of we figure the more mud that's thrown at the wall, the more likely something is to stick. So, and then Dos De La Rosa, yeah, she is. She's split in half, and there are babies. uh, and then Michael saying the main Dom characters can be in DM, but as enemies, slowing evolve as the round tracker progresses. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible, Michael. I mean, that's a really cool idea. It's a really cool idea. We would just, it would might take a lot to make it happen. So I'm not positive if it would, but it would be super cool. Um, Final forms as epic monsters. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh man, that would be killer. Anyways, as to crossovers, an update to DM and reprint campaigns would be good. Yes, Blaster, we're going to do that. There's only so much we can do in a day. So that's why we haven't done it yet. But we're definitely going to get that out to both the reprint and the original campaign. Get as many people aware of it as possible. So I'm slightly concerned how much will be lost during the tooling. I've seen a fair few models that could benefit from ABS section instead of all PVC, and maybe some models need sub-assemblies to paint. Well, they will be pre-assembled, Russ. I can pretty much guarantee you that. However, what they are made of, that's kind of anyone's guess at this point. I mean, parts of them, if need be, may be ABS. And parts of them might be, and obviously parts of them will definitely be PVC. There are some that so there are we have an interesting person in the comments here, it looks like. So anyways, so yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely see about the final quality, but we're going to do our absolute best to make sure that as much detail is retained as humanly possible in those minis. So definitely. All right, Seth. Well, have a great rest of the night, my friend, and we'll talk with you later. So Russ, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, my friend. It's really up to Roger and Chauncey how much work they want to put in to make it happen. Brainstorming. Yeah, thanks, Russ. That's exactly what I was looking for. That is exactly the term I was looking for. Thank you. Okay. Anyways, make them hips like the Oathsworn guys. I don't think we could do hips, Dos De La Rosa, for a few reasons. First of all, hips is way more expensive. So, and with the number of minis, we're already looking at quite a chunk of money. So I don't know that we could do hips. especially pre-assembled like they're doing at our current price point. I'm pretty sure they're doing pre-assembled. You guys can let me know if I'm wrong about that. But yeah, and the other problem is yeah, the pre-assembly thing. That's a huge problem because that's not how hips comes. It comes on a thing. But uh, but yeah, so that's um, okay. Glad you like the Numina creation there, Blaster. Yeah, right. I Oh, you shouldn't be using Spawn of the Sleeper on scenario one, Michael. That's just not a good idea. um, but yeah, okay. Well, I think that a lot of us are needing to get going, and we've been going for over 2 hours. So, any final questions or anything, guys, that I can answer real fast here before we sign off? Um, uh, I thought it'd be funny for my play group. I bet it was. I bet it was hilarious. um, yes, we're definitely looking to make as much detail into the final prints as possible. And you bet. Thanks for being here, Russ. It's been great hanging out with you guys. You too, Dos de la Rosa. Um, thanks for hanging out with me for so long here, guys. He landed on the corner of death. Oh, you bet, Chris. Thanks for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Russ. All right, guys. Well, we'll sign off for this time. Hopefully, Facebook or not Facebook. Hopefully, Kickstarter won't have any more problems next week, so we'll be able to do this more normal time. More like maybe Wednesday, like we initially planned to do this one. Off to draft scenario one. Yep. So hopefully we'll be able to do this one like again next Wednesday or something like that. So until then, guys, I will talk with you all later. Have a great weekend, a great rest of the week, and bye for now. Oh, thanks, Carlo. I appreciate that, man. All right. Well, have a great night, guys, and I'll talk with you again soon. Can we? Oh, Russ is asking if we can move it to 4 p.m. if it's Wednesday. Sure. Yeah, we can do 4. I mean, I'm totally open on the time. I just try to make it open to the most people that can possibly get here. So if 4 p.m. works better for people, then it's fine with me. I've got no problem with it. But yeah, for other people in other parts of the world and that sort of stuff, you know, I just want to do whatever works best. It's 2 in the EU right now. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, we'll reconvene on the time, and we'll try to figure out what's going to be best for everyone, or for as many people as humanly possible. And 9 a.m. in Singapore. Thanks for being here. 3D Fuzzy. Yeah, we'll see what we can do, but we'll definitely do this again sometime next week. So, all right, I'll talk with you guys later, and we'll have a great night. Bye for now.